What's up? Welcome into the West Bros Experience. Good morning. I'm Bob West.
I'm Colby West, and before we actually get started today, I did want to just say thank you before we rock into episode 15. Just really appreciate all the support and all the feedback we've been getting. Everything's
awesome.
super helpful. Even if it's critiques, like bring it on. I'm trying to get better here. So, just wanted to say thank you before we get into today's episode.
Yeah.
So,
thank you all. Just what he said. It's been incredible. I think the biggest thing has been the support in form of like recommendations and things like that. That's been awesome to help us keep moving this thing forward. So thank you.
Yeah, right on. All right, today we're going to be talking about how to get in the zone, and that can mean a ton of different things to you, whether it's depending on what you're doing, right? It's being your true self and getting in that mental space that you need to in order to like perform at your best.
Absolutely. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, there's an optimal you, and there's an optimal performance level no matter what you're doing. So we really want to take a deep dive into how to get in the zone, really, no matter what you're doing out there. We think there's three keys. The first is self-awareness, the second is a routine, and the third is preparation. So let's just jump right in to the first one, self-awareness.
Yeah, the first being totally self-aware where you are currently, and it's just being just completely transparent with yourself, being honest, and that way you can hold yourself accountable, and you look back on, say, this day a couple months down the road and say, hey, I was in like that space. I could tell my energy wasn't where I wanted it to be, and you can improve that way, and you can get in the zone for the next time. And being totally self-aware going in and really finding out where you're at personally.
Yeah, that's huge. Holding yourself accountable, and also, just kind of knowing what you're best at and really leaning into your strengths.
Yep.
So when do you perform your best? And everybody's a little bit different, but that's where you've got to practice self-awareness, figure out whatever it is that you're doing. If it's in real estate sales, like I'm doing, there's a lot of people, they like meeting new people in person. Some people like cold calling. Some people like door knocking. Some people like a mix of all of them. But you've got to know what you're best at and really stick to that lane.
Yeah, triple down on your strengths. Gary Vee says it all the time. So don't worry so much about what you're not good at, but throw all your possible energy into what you are very, very strong at. So anything else there, or should I keep rocking?
Let's just rock right into routine, because that's kind of really it's an extension of self-awareness. Because once you get self-aware, you know when you're your best, and you know when you're not being your best. Mm-hmm. So the routine is the thing that's going to hold you accountable each and every day.
Yeah, and I think it's a fallback plan for me. I think immediately first thing, pre-shot routine in golf. It's obviously on the range. You're trying to warm up. You're trying to get your swing feeling good. You're trying to get your body feeling good, stretch it out. Before every shot in golf, you'll see all the pros do almost the same thing, if not the exact same thing before every shot. They'll take a couple practice swings, maybe step behind the ball, kind of check it out, and then step into it the same exact way every single time. And there's a reason they do that. Same thing with like basketball players and everything like that.
Absolutely. I know like in Tiger's prime, and I'm sure now he's getting back to it, is you could put a clock on his routine. It was just that specific. Each movement was the same, and they were done in the same cadence, the same rhythm, the same timing, each and every shot. And that was how he was his best in each moment. So that's where you've got to focus. What are your moments where you've got to be your best? If you're in sales, oftentimes it's that face-to-face conversation, or it's the sales pitch. So figuring out what your moments are, I think, is huge, and then you can figure out how to build a routine around those.
Yeah, it's. It applies anywhere. It's sales. If you're given a speech, you've got to obviously practice, right? No one's going to go on stage and speak without practice and having their routine, whether it goes back to the Belfort scene or anything like that.
Right.
But you've got, again, be self-aware, be prepared, have your routine, and just be able to fall back. So that gives you kind of like that comfort level, right? You're just feeling like your safety net type of thing too. So.
Absolutely. And the routine, like that safety net, that's something that it's a daily thing, it's an hour by hour thing, but it can also be a weekly and a yearly thing. One of the biggest things I learned, again, back to Tiger Woods, is how he built his entire schedule around the major championships. His entire year was built around that. When he took downtime, when he ramped up his practice and preparation, I've heard the same about Tom Brady, how he takes reps in practice all the way through Super Bowl week on the rare years that they don't make it to the Super Bowl, just to keep himself in that state of mind and ready for the next year, expecting it to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's preparation, it's expectation, it's self-awareness, and Tom Brady's clearly self-aware, probably the greatest quarterback of all time. So why not take a few lessons from him? And though you're not like the GOAT, you could be the GOAT in your industry. You could be the next great solar salesman. You could be the next great real estate agent. You could be, the opportunities are endless. So
absolutely.
The final step here is like your preparation, and this one's really, really key. Being totally prepared and not like just in that mental space. You've got to be physically well in order to perform at your best. And for me, it's gym every morning and really getting my head right for the entire day so I can perform at my best for anyone I'm talking to about solar today or the next week, or I'm giving a presentation to real estate agents. It's anything.
Yeah, you got to be. I love that. You got to be at your physical, mental, and emotional best. The physical one, I think, is huge because it gets overlooked by a lot of people, especially highly productive people.
Yeah.
You get locked into what you're doing. I remember this in golf. Like you'd spend too much time on the range, not do the stretching and the stuff that's not as fun. You don't feel like you're getting as much out of it, but 3 days later, 3 weeks later, a month later, you start to feel that, and all of a sudden you can't put in the long days on the range because you neglected other parts of your physical well-being. So the preparation is really keeping yourself ready, right? It's making sure that no matter what situation arises, you're going to have the capacity to put a plan in place and deal with it at your absolute best.
Yeah. A lot of things that go into preparation are really taking a step back and getting your big picture back in mind and not getting caught up in what you're doing maybe wrong or what you want to improve on. It's taking a step back and being prepared to be able to pivot but still look at that big picture and realize you're doing this for a purpose. So
absolutely. The last part of preparation, I think, is just practice getting in the zone. So that's something that, in golf, you'd practice it on the range. You try to put yourself in a high pressure situation. Right. You try to simulate pressure if it wasn't real. But in sales, in entrepreneurship, you have to do the same thing. You have to simulate those high pressure situations or the situations that you're nervous about or don't want to do. Simulate those going well in your mind, and then get a routine in place, start preparing, get after it.
That's right. I think, basketball players never leave on a miss. I'm sure you've heard that before. Or before a golf round, you want to make this last 3-foot putt so you're feeling good and feeling confident. And it can apply anywhere in sales and door knocking, whatever. So that about does it for the day. You can plan out everything, but if you're not in the right state of mind, it won't be your best work and it won't yield the results you're really hoping for. So just to kind of wrap up, 3 main points we've got are self-awareness, routine, and preparation. Hope you guys got some awesome value today. So
awesome. Yeah, stick to those 3, and that'll help you get in the zone no matter what you're doing. Thanks for watching. Again, like you said in the beginning, it's been an awesome 3 weeks. Thank you all for the incredible support. We're going to keep on rocking. You do the same.
West Bros. See ya.